A great matrix calculator is the Recalculate matrix calculator. If you want to solve a system using matrices, you can use Gauss-Jordan elimination. So you can click here, and then this actually gives you instructions on how to use it. So you need to pick your matrix. So if we have two equations, and that gives us an x, a y, and then the column for what it's equals to. So that's going to be 2 by 3. So I'm going to click Set Matrix, and then you need to type in your answers. Now be careful because it doesn't really like fractions. Sometimes you can do fractions and you can do decimals, but you can't really mix them up. So just be careful. But I'm going to type in one with a fraction, and then I'm going to just type in some whole numbers here, and then just type in some values. And then you click Solve. And so here it's giving us the solution set, which is 9 over 130, and then negative 3 over 130. And if you need to see the steps, you can click Show Solution, and then that will show you what they did to solve this by Gauss-Jordan elimination. You can also solve with inverses, so you can click Inverse Matrix Method here. So again, you need to pick your matrix dimension, and here we're looking at the coefficient matrix, so that's going to be a square matrix. So for two equations, that will be a dimension of 2. I hit Set Matrix, and again, you can choose between doing decimals or fractions. I do recommend fractions whenever possible so that you don't have rounding errors. So I'm going to just type in a fraction just for testing purposes, and then it also shows you to enter in what the B matrix is. So I'm just making up numbers here, and then click Solve. And then this one was actually unsolvable, and it tells you that. So if you go to Very Detailed Solution, and then check, okay, it just says the system is inconsistent. And then it's showing you why, because I got zeros all in the last row. So I'm going to go back, and let's do Recalculate. And it actually ended. Let's go back to Inverse Matrix Method. I'm going to have to choose different matrix this time. I'm just making these up, so I'm going to click Solve. And then it's giving you your solution set, negative 1 and 2. And if you show solutions, you can see that it used the inverse method. So it wrote the matrix, gave the inverse, and then it gave you the final solution there. You can find the determinant using this, so you click on Determinate. And again, you need to have a square matrix, so if I have a matrix dimension of 2, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, just plug in some numbers, calculate, and the determinant is negative 2. If you want to see just the inverse matrix, you can click on Inverse Matrix. If you need to do matrix multiplication, you can click here. So in order to multiply, you need to have the last row here, the K, match the N here, which they're also labeling as K. So if I'm going to multiply, let's say I have a 2 by 3, then the next one has to be 3. And you see how it automatically matched that up for you. And let's say this is a 3 by 5. So I'm going to just make up numbers here. So I'm going to set matrices. And so now you can see I need to enter them. And notice for A, it doesn't give me an option for fractional or decimal. I'm going to just test out if I put in fractions will it be okay. And then I'll just fill in my matrices, and then here I'll just keep counting just so that I have something to test with. And then you hit Calculate. So we had a 2 by 3 and a 3 by 5, which is going to result in a 2 by 5, and it did allow us to do fractions, and you can see the result right here.